We are talking about the Mandiant M-Trends 2023 report. One of the interesting points in that was another decrease in dwell time, down to 16 days for the current reporting period.
The dwell time continues to decrease. So when we first started tracking this metric back in 2011, the dwell time was actually really high. It was 416 days as a median time in which organizations were detecting incidents.
I wanted to ask you about dwell time detection and what the most common methods are for that. Is it typically that the organization that's been hacked discovered this on their own, or is it more a third party alerts them, hey, there's a problem here?
You know, it keeps flip-flopping as we conduct our research and as we do our investigations. There's some years where we find that more than half of our clients self-detect the security incident, but unfortunately last year, based on our caseload data, about 63% of the organizations that we worked with ended up learning about the incident because somebody else told them about it. And again, that somebody else could be the threat actor, it could be law enforcement, it could be a security partner. Again, it keeps flipping and flopping.
Extortion and ransomware continue to characterize the cyber threat landscape. Curious from your perspective what some of the standout approaches are that you and your team may have seen with specific attacker techniques or technologies that they may be leveraging to execute these things.
Yeah, so ransomware multifaceted extortion, it is the #1 threat against most organizations today. And the reason for that is because financially motivated threat actors, they've decided to monetize their intrusions by conducting multifaceted extortion. You know, gone are the days where threat actors break into companies and just steal credit card numbers and try to sell that on the dark web, because it takes a long time to steal enough credit card data to really make good money out of it. Whereas today, threat actors can conduct an operation that's very short in time. It could be 3 days worth of effort, and then they could extort a company for $3 million, $5 million, $10 million. And many of our clients are unfortunately paying just because they don't have very many options, because there's so much disruption and they're so worried about data that was stolen being published on the internet. In terms of ways that threat actors are getting in, there's really 2 common ways. #1, they're exploiting vulnerabilities at scale. So either they're exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities or previously known vulnerabilities that just aren't patched, or they're phishing their way into the organization.
Curious from your perspective, again, how major adversaries have evolved new approaches in the last year.
You know, we're seeing newer threat actors enter the game, and they're conducting intrusion operations in ways that feel a little bit different than maybe some of the more established threat actors. And what I mean by that is we're seeing a number of folks that are primarily, or that speak English as their primary language, where they are calling up victims and convincing them to install software or visit websites and provide their credentials. Or they're sending text messages to people directly on their personal or their work cell phones, where they're saying, click on this link to provide some information to us, and they create a sense of urgency. And those links look like legitimate company websites, but they're just mirrors of those websites, and they capture credentials that way. And if you think about the challenge here for an enterprise, enterprises aren't monitoring inbound SMS messages to people's cell phones. And they're also, when you click on the link, that traffic typically traverses over the cellular network. So those enterprises are not able to monitor that network traffic. So it creates a lot of challenges for companies. And really the recommendation to them is to learn from all these incidents that have gone public over the past year or 2 years or so, and try to build defenses to mitigate the risk and the impact of these types of attacks.